Buffalo Bills, the Giants stable, all that. And I've said it a bunch, and I'll continue to say it. We've said it before on the show. A great way to see a person's worth is how the company, the unit, the division, the family, how do they hold up after you leave? Right, that's going to tell you your worth and how important you are. Right, Brian Dable has gone, to the New York Giants, and in his first season, he led the Giants to a playoff win, and the team looked significantly better. They looked much improved under Dable's direction. And to me, it's clear that on Brian's side of the ball, offense, the Buffalo Bills have appeared to regress without him. Ken Dorsey, now the offensive coordinator. I'm asking myself, why? Right, it's like most of the same pieces, and you look statistically like, they're about the same. They're about the same on third down, and they're tops in the league even in that category, and they're top 10 in red zone and top 3 in scoring offense, and they're the number 2 in yards. The run game was fine. I mean, it was 7th in football. Granted, Josh Allen helps out a lot on that, but still, they can run the football. Yeah, the defense has some flaws, but it's without a doubt a top 10 defense. Their line isn't great. I know that's, the weak spot. They allowed the 8th fewest sacks last year. So it's like, why are the Bills regressing? I mean, yes, Stefon Diggs is unhappy. Big shocker. Right? Like, we're all floored that a diva wide receiver is upset. Right? He's always unhappy. I mean, the man was 5th in yards. This is in the entire league. 5th in yards, 5th in targets, 4th in catches, tied for 3rd in touchdowns, yet he's unhappy. Stefon, go kick rocks. I don't understand it. You have a top 3 most talented quarterback in the game. You're being used just fine. You're 5th in targets. Oh, I want to be number 1 in targets. Well, I hate to break it to you, man. You're not number 1 in talent. You're a good receiver. You're a top 5 receiver. Let's not act like you're A.J. Brown, because you're not. You're probably not Jamar Chase. You're probably not Justin Jefferson. That puts you at best 4th. I would probably take Tyreek Hill because he's better. He's more special at something. Stefon Diggs is good at everything. Tyreek Hill is all-worldly at something. So that's at best the 5th best. And that makes sense. He's 5th in yards, 5th in targets, 4th in catches, 3rd in touchdowns. Oh, I'm unhappy with my usage rate. Of course. Another diva receiver. He's a joke as a professional. A joke. I don't take him seriously even a little bit. But that's not the problem. Like I said, you see he's productive. He's not the problem. So what is the real problem? It's going to, it's not going to be a surprise. And it's going to hurt to say as a Josh Allen fan, but it's the turnovers. They led the entire league this past season in turnovers, as in worst in the league. They had the most amount of turnovers in football last year. That's odd because I wonder if I checked Brian Dable and the Giants stats. I wonder if he's good at minimizing turnovers. I wonder if it's like a strength of his. In 2021, with a very similar roster in New York, Daniel Jones still at the helm, different coach, the Giants led the league in turnovers. Worst in football, 32nd of 32 teams. This year, 2nd in football. Cut their turnovers in half. Buffalo added like 11 turnovers. They went from 13th in football to 27th. There is your impact of Brian Dable. Stefon Diggs is going to be unhappy no matter what. He had a great number 2 receiver, a very, very competent coach, and a very competent quarterback in Minnesota, putting up top 10 numbers across the league. And he still forced his way out. Of course. Of course he did. Because it's Stefon Diggs. He's not going to work anywhere. Right? He's productive. He's not going to just fit in. He's not going to be a Larry Fitzgerald, get the first down, give the ball to the ref. I'm happy no matter how many targets I get a game, as long as the team's winning. It's not Stefon Diggs. And to his credit, not everybody has to be, to his defense, not everybody has to be Larry Fitzgerald. Right? Like, I was okay with Antonio Brown being a little bit diva-esque, but he's giving me 1,800 yards a year with like 18 touchdowns. I don't care if he wants more targets. If he's giving me that sort of production, fine. Right? And to Stefon's defense, I don't really care that he's unhappy. He can complain all he wants. Doesn't matter. As long as he's showing up to the game and giving me this production, I don't care. So the real problem is the turnovers, and that's nothing new. But you see with a defensive defensive head coach Sean McDermott, defensive culture in Buffalo. It's been like that forever. They don't understand the sensibility of offense. They let Brian Dable walk. They don't replace him with an adequate enough, person. I think Ken Dorsey's fine. More of a quarterback's coach. And when he was a quarterback's coach, Josh Allen was really good. As a coordinator, he has regressed. You have to get the offense right. You have to get the quarterback right. You have to do everything you can that is in your power to make sure your quarterback is as good as humanly possible. That's why I defended Dallas for years, and I actually kind of went at them for complaining about Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator. I go, you're paying Dak $45 million? You have to do everything you can to make Dak look like a superstar. Because talent-wise, he's not. Right? You have to do everything you can to make that quarterback work. Joe Burrow getting Jamar Chase. You have to do everything you can to make that quarterback look, feel, and play well. And it's the same thing here. Josh Allen is not being given the opportunity to look good, feel good, play good. Right? Ken Dorsey is not that guy. Sean McDermott has not built that culture in Buffalo. And you're going to see them regress even more. You're looking at teams. Who's going to make the playoffs that's new this year, and who's going to drop out, right? It happens every year, either 2 or 3 times each side of the league, AFC, NFC. And you look at the AFC, it's like, well, Miami got better. Maybe Baltimore will probably fall out, but it's like the Chargers got better with Kellen Moore, and they added more talent. I mean, Denver just got a Hall of Fame coach and has a Hall of Fame quarterback. They'll probably be better. What are the teams on the fall? Buffalo. Buffalo is, we're going to play up, down, sideways. We don't have them in there. They're down. They're trending down. You have to understand offense in this day and age. It is 2023 NFL football. If your offense isn't good, if you're turning the ball over, you are not going to be successful, especially in the playoffs. That's what we've seen the last 2 years.
Well, I think another big part of this that people haven't looked at completely and really taken the time to let it sink in and realize the fact that Brian Daboll leaving. So I think Buffalo became a little bit too dependent and a little bit too confident in the fact that Josh Allen would be able to carry that weight. The offense, when Daboll was there, was top of the league. Like, when we were doing our power rankings, it was like, oh my God, we put the Chiefs or the Bills at number 1. And it was noticeable that they were a fantastic offensive power to be reckoned with. But he leaves, and like you said, they don't replace him. They don't go find another offensive mastermind. They don't even put in really the effort to go do a gigantic job search around the NFL, as they probably should have, to find that next guy to work with Josh Allen. I think at that point they almost gave Josh Allen the keys a bit too early and just said, hey man, look, this is all on you. We know you're special at quarterback. We know you're top of the league, one of the best in the game. You're going to figure this out. And so far, they've taken steps back and they have regressed. And I think that's because they have become even more Josh Allen dependent. They never had a run game, so they were always dependent on him. But now they are like uber dependent on Josh Allen. And I think that's where you're starting to see those steps back and starting to take that downfall a little bit.
I think it's fair. There's a real thing. When Dak throws more than 30 times, he's a sub 500 quarterback. When he throws less, he wins like 80% of his games. So
yeah, it's interesting.
Can't rely on the quarterback.
So let's go.